Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Bankman-Fried. For years, we've all been told that these tech titans are literal geniuses, visionary thinkers who earned their power through sheer intellect. But after what we've seen over the past few months, I think we finally need to admit, once and for all, that these people are fucking idiots. And they have been the entire time. I mean, just look at what's happening. Self-proclaimed real-life Iron Man Elon Musk just went billions into debt to buy his favorite bird website, then fired everyone and announced his new toy was about to go bankrupt. Boy Emperor Mark Zuckerberg just laid off 11,000 people. At the same time, he's wasting $36 billion on a metaverse no one wants to use. And 30-year-old crypto billionaire in shorts, Sam Bankman-Fried, turned out to be nothing but a massive fraud when his crypto exchange, FTX, evaporated into thin air along with billions in regular people's money. Now, I hesitate to call anyone stupid. As an esteemed public intellectual, name-calling is beneath me, but these people are the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet. And that's bad because they literally run vast swaths of our economy. And when we buy into their bullshit, we enable them to fuck us over time and time again. And it has to stop now. Okay, before we get really into it, I want to thank all my supporters on Patreon for making this video possible. If you'd like to join them, head to patreon.com/Adam Conover. Okay, off to the races. Let's start with the richest and stupidest man in the world, Elon Musk. For decades, journalists, biographers, and fanboys have described Elon as a super genius who's propelling us into the next century. But his purchase of Twitter proves, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Elon is a fucking dumbass. Dude bought himself a $44 billion toy and broke it on the first day. Why? Because he doesn't understand a goddamn thing about it. See, in order to buy Twitter, Elon took out more loans than a Florida homeowner in 2007. The company is now on the hook for $1.5 billion a year in interest payments alone. And since Twitter was already unprofitable to begin with, that means that Elon needs a ton of revenue right the fuck now. So he decides, hey, people love those blue check marks, let's make them pay for them. And this is simply staggeringly stupid. I mean, okay, he's right. Speaking as a member of the digital elite, we love our blue checks. I got mine in 2013 when I was on the failed reboot of VH1's Best Week Ever, and I've treasured it ever since. Oh, look at that guy. He hasn't even ruined anything yet. By putting the blue check up for sale, Musk destroyed its entire purpose and lost himself billions in revenue. See, the point of the blue check mark is that it allows everyone to tell at a glance which accounts are run by the actual person or organization they represent. But not anymore. The day the new verified badge launched, Twitter was deluged with verified tweets from George Bush bragging about killing Iraqis, Super Mario giving the finger, and drug company Eli Lilly announcing that insulin was now free. Now, all three of those are genuinely hilarious, but the last one actually caused Eli Lilly's stock price to plummet by 10%, losing them billions in market cap. Which, again, is hilarious, because fuck Eli Lilly, insulin should be free. But as a result, they canceled millions in advertising dollars they were going to spend on Twitter, as did countless other brands. Twitter has spent the last 15 years painstakingly building credibility and trust with brands so that they felt comfortable enough to, advertise on a service known to most of us as a cesspool of nonsense and hate. And Elon just burned it all down with one of his dumbass flamethrowers for 8 measly bucks. But hey, maybe he can make it up with all of that sweet subscription revenue. Well, let's see. According to the New York Times, about 140,000 accounts signed up for Twitter Blue in the days after launch. So at $8 per account, that means the verification system brought in a little over $1 million in revenue. Use that to pay down the $1.5 billion Elon owes this year, and that leaves, $1.5 billion. Elon would need 187 million people to sign up for Twitter Blue just to pay back his lenders, and he's currently 0.07% of the way there. Good luck, bud. Hope that was worth destroying your company's sole source of revenue. On top of being terrible at math, Elon also fucking sucks at the one thing he's supposed to be good at, running a company. When Elon bought Twitter, he immediately fired half its employees, then realized he needed some of them to, run the website, so he begged them to come back like a desperate ex-boyfriend who thought he could do better. Elon treated people so poorly that the executives in charge of trust and safety, privacy, information security, and regulatory compliance all quit. Whoa, that might be a problem since Twitter is currently under an FTC consent decree that requires them to strictly follow privacy regulations when they do things like, say, publish a new paid verification service. I'm not a legal guy, but let me just check what the penalty is for violating that consent decree. Oh, says here it's billions of dollars in fines and potential jail time. Good luck with the feds, champ. So why is Elon Musk fucking this up so badly? Simple. His carefully crafted public image as a genius innovator has been a con from the very start. Elon didn't found Tesla. He used the money he got from co-founding PayPal, the payment service that sucks, to buy a stake in Tesla. Then he kicked out the original co-founder, Martin Eberhard, and stole Martin's title, not to mention his car. SpaceX does some cool shit, but they're a government space contractor that makes their money suckling at Uncle Sam's teat. And face it, Elon didn't design those rockets, he just brags about it on Twitter. And finally, there's Hyperloop and the Boring Company. Remember how Elon claimed he invented a new system of transportation that was supposed to end traffic forever? Well, that turned into a 2-mile tunnel in Las Vegas where a Tesla drives you at 30 miles an hour. Yeah, it's pretty slow, but it could be useful if you're too drunk to stumble from the Bellagio to the Circus, I guess. Elon is great at exactly 3 things: trolling, causing chaos, and telling everyone he's a genius. And he does all those things on Twitter, which seems to be the only reason he bought it. But you know what? If you're addicted to gambling, you probably shouldn't buy the horse track. And now that Elon runs Twitter, he's running it straight into the ground. The site's become dangerously unstable, and it's already ceased functioning in countries around the world. And I do need to point out that as much as we all hate being on Twitter, it is important as a means of communication. It's a vital link to the outside world for people living under repressive regimes. It's a professional network that millions use to find work. And it's how we figure out if that shaking was actually an earthquake or not. When Twitter collapses, it's going to be an undeniable loss. Oh, Musk is going to be fine. He'll still be a billionaire. But millions of people around the world could soon have their voices silenced just because this dumbass wanted to swing his dick around. Speaking of dumbasses, Mark Zuckerberg. For most of my adult life, he's been described as a brilliant prodigy. Mark created a social network that exploits the data of billions of people and built it into an impregnable super monopoly with billions of users. But in recent years, Facebook has fallen on hard times. Mark's been hauled before lawmakers to explain why he stole customer data and undermined democracies around the world. Apple has blown a giant hole in Facebook's profits by allowing users to opt out of having their data stolen. And most importantly, TikTok has been kicking Mark's pasty ass. As a result, Facebook has lost 60% of its value in the past year. So, in a desperate move to prop up his share price, Mark made up some stupid sci-fi bullshit. He renamed the company Meta and has so far spent $36 billion building a new digital world he calls the Metaverse, where you can, do something? It's not really clear. Play cards with a robot, I guess? Mark's pitch, though, is that in the future, we're all going to work, live, and play in the metaverse, and Facebook will dominate it, so therefore, you need to invest all your money in Facebook right now. Now, first of all, that sounds like a dystopian nightmare that we should stop at all costs, but don't worry, it's all bullshit. That video was faked on a green screen. The metaverse Mark's actually building sucks ass. I mean, this shit looks like The Sims for PlayStation 2. It is so rudimentary that the big feature they're excited about is, get ready for it, adding legs. Wow, that ought to boost the share price. And once he adds taints and buttholes, there's no stopping him. Oh, wait, never mind. Turns out the legs video was fake too. Mark ain't got no legs. Just as an aside, why the hell did they make Mark the face of this shit? I mean, they have so much money. They could have hired Samuel L. Jackson, or Spider-Man, or a hologram of Betty White. Whose fantasy of the future is to hang out with Mark Zuckerberg? The dude is a robot frat boy programmed to simulate humanity.
Smoking meat, smoking these meats. I'm making meats now.
I'm sure you are, buddy. And soon you'll learn how to eat them too.
The ribs and the brisket need to be eaten.
Unsurprisingly, Mark's jank-ass metaverse is emptier than his childhood birthday parties. So few people are using Horizon Worlds that Mark had to literally order his own employees to use it more. Okay, so how is it possible to spend $36 billion on a product that you are relying on to save your company and have it be so bad even the people who built it don't want to use it? Well, turns out it's pretty easy if you're a fraud who's never invented anything in your goddamn life. Let's be clear. Despite his reputation as an innovator, Zuckerberg has actually bought or stolen every piece of his empire. When Instagram and WhatsApp started growing fast enough to threaten Facebook's monopoly, he bought them out. When Snapchat refused to sell, he stole its best feature, the story. Oh, and let's not forget that the entire empire was built on our stolen data. Zuckerberg's not a genius. He's a guy who got lucky one time, then used his money to rob and steal his way to the top. But you know what? Suddenly, stealing isn't working anymore. His latest attempt, Instagram Reels, is just shitty TikTok. Everyone knows it, everyone hates it. So for the first time in his life, Mark is trying to invent his way out, and he fucking sucks at it. This month, Facebook announced that they were laying off 11,000 employees. 11,000 real people with real lives lost their livelihoods. But Mark, the guy who caused the disaster by wasting $36 billion on a chat room that looks worse than Wii Sports, he's gonna be fine. When Facebook was founded, Mark gave himself special voting shares in the company that ensure he can never be removed as CEO, even for gross stupidity. The dude is not some programming genius from a Sorkin movie, okay? He's just another businessman bozo who figured out how to stay rich and powerful no matter how much he fucks up. Oh, and speaking of massive fuck-ups, let's talk about Sam Bankman-Fried. SBF was the founder and CEO of crypto exchange FTX, and until recently, he was considered a wise sage, the trustworthy visionary who was going to usher us all into a utopian future of crypto finance. Literally just a few months ago, Fortune magazine was calling him the next Warren Buffett, and he got positive headlines for driving a beat-up old car, sleeping on a beanbag chair, and, you guessed it, planning to give all his money to charity. Now, if you saw my last video, you're already smelling the bullshit. But in this case, Sam's uppance came mighty quick. See, FTX was basically a crypto bank. Real people deposited billions of their real dollars into FTX to buy cryptocurrencies. But then, when a bunch of them tried to withdraw their money all at once, FTX didn't have enough cash to pay. Why not? What happened to all that money? Well, it turns out that Sam had given it to one of his other companies, Alameda Research, to gamble on risky crypto bets. And in the meantime, he had filled FTX's balance sheet with a bullshit cryptocurrency that he invented. Like, imagine if your bank filled its vault with Monopoly money and took your deposits to Atlantic City, and you're starting to get the picture. It was the sloppiest scam imaginable. Yet, just a few months ago, investors were hanging on to SBF's every word. According to a glowing profile of Sam published just a few weeks ago, on one occasion he wowed the money guys by claiming he was going to turn FTX into a super app where you can do anything you want with your next dollar. You can buy Bitcoin, you can send money to a friend anywhere in the world, you can buy a banana. Now, I'm pretty sure I can already buy a banana, but the investors ate this shit up. They start going, I love this founder, 10 out of 10, yes! They all probably started high-fiving each other and jerking each other off. I don't know what these fucks do, okay? But then they find out that he was playing League of Legends during the entire meeting. And instead of kicking him out on his ass, you know what they did next? They said that was incredibly impressive and gave the motherfucker $200 million. Why? That's not impressive. That's dumb as shit. Especially because it turns out SBF sucked at League of Legends. The dude never even got out of bronze rank. But they were like, wow, he can bullshit us and get ganked at the same time? Give him all our money. Okay, let's see. A 30-year-old who sleeps on a beanbag chair is way into crypto and sucks at his favorite video game. That's not a genius, that's just everyone's burnout cousin. And just like your cousin, Bankman-Fried is broke as shit now. Of course, that doesn't hurt him much. His billions were fake to begin with. But the people he convinced to invest? The folks at home who saw his celebrity endorsements, the FTX patches on the Major League umpires, and the Super Bowl commercial with Larry David saying, "Don't miss out on crypto." They invested their real, actual money, and all of that money is now gone. This motherfucker destroyed people's lives. And you know what? It's easy to look at those people who got hurt and say, well, they kind of deserved it, right? Because they were stupid too. They got fooled by this obvious bullshit artist. And I get that, because a lot of people were smart enough to see the truth about SBF and Elon and Zuck the entire time. You don't need to be a genius to realize that crypto is a scam, or that the metaverse is incoherent, or that the fucking Tesla tunnel isn't going to solve traffic. Just put a train down there, Elon. It's called a subway. God damn it. You just needed to be a little smarter than those three idiots. And a lot of people were. A lot of you watching this video were. And you were screaming to the heavens about it the entire time. But the problem is, our culture, our entire society is run by dudes like this. Privileged, incompetent men who claim to be changing the world when what they're really doing is hoarding power they don't deserve. And so they designed the world we live in to protect them and elevate them and amplify their message. So our media, our corporations, our government, they all bought these guys' bullshit, and then they served it back to us like one of Zuck's smoked meats. Eat up, they said. These men are geniuses. Their shit tastes like candy. And so can you really blame people that a lot of us believed it? I mean, sure. Elon must be a genius. They said it on the news. And that belief, our cultural conviction in their brilliance, gave them power they did not deserve. Not just money, not just political power, but psychological power over all of us. Like, seriously, I have friends who are literally worried that their kids will grow up trapped inside of Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse because Zuck convinced them it's really going to happen. Cities canceled their transit projects because Elon Musk said the Hyperloop was on the way. Real people gave Sam Bankman-Fried their money because they believed he was building the future of finance. And now that they're inevitably failing, we're the ones who are paying the price. It's our money that's getting lost, our cities and online spaces that are being destroyed, our jobs that are being eliminated while they skip off happily to their next fuck up. The only way the chaos will stop is if we stop elevating and admiring idiots like this. And that is the silver lining to the bursting of this bubble. Sam, Zuck, and Elon haven't been hurt by their apocalyptic failures, but their image has. Everyone, from the media to the government, can finally see the truth. And that's a good thing, because if we remember that these guys are actually dumbasses, we can beat them. Twitter users have figured out that if a man is dumb enough to waste $44 billion to boost his own ego, it's really easy to troll him into wasting even more. The game VR Chat is way more popular than Horizon Worlds, but the team that created it spent a fraction of what Mark did because, you know, they're smarter than him. And Sam Bankman-Fried, well, his exposure as a fraud was such massive news that it's reduced confidence in the entire crypto sector and caused millions of people to distrust other crypto companies as well, which is a good thing because crypto is full of shit. When we think critically about these people, their power evaporates. And it's so important that we start to do so, because here's the kicker. There are millions of them. The mediocre man with rich parents, a bachelor's from an Ivy, and a bullshit vision for the future? I see 10 guys like that every day. Elon, Zuck, and Sam, they're just the ones who got lucky. And as soon as they fall, there will be more on the way. They're just like zombies. They're hungry, they're numerous, and they want to eat your brain because they don't have one. But you know what the best part about zombies is? Once you know how to outsmart them, they're really fun to take down. So the next time some vacant-eyed business boy shambles up and tells you to do as he says because he's going to change the world, remember, you're smarter than him, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I hope you subscribe. I'm just getting started with these and I can't wait to make a whole bunch more. Also, check out my podcast Factually and subscribe to my Patreon at patreon.com/Adam Conover. Thank you so much for your support.